Sri Sai Ram. Dear students, welcome. Today we are going to read and discuss a very beautiful poem, and the name of the poem is The Truth. It's also a very simple and easy poem. Our holy scriptures, reformers, and preachers have always emphasized the need for controlling strong emotions and ambitions in order to maintain a calm and peaceful attitude. Strong negative emotions like anger, jealousy, etc., if uncontrolled, are destructive in life. So, here we see that our holy scriptures, be it the Upanishad or the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, they all say that if we want to maintain a very calm and peaceful attitude, what do we need to do? We have to develop positive qualities and also leave out the negative emotions like anger, jealousy. If these negative emotions like anger and jealousy, if we are not able to control them, what can happen? They can cause a lot of destruction in our life. A lot of damage in our life is what our holy scriptures are telling us. So let us read a few lines from the Atharva Veda and think over them. This is in relation to our poem, The Truth. So we are going to read a few lines from the Atharva Veda. These are the few lines, as you can see. Words can confer strength, they can drown it off. Words can gain friends, they can turn them into enemies. So, what is the Atharva Veda telling us? It's telling us that the words can give us strength, they can motivate us, they can encourage us, but at the same time, the words can also depress us, they can demotivate us. Over here, we see the picture of a lady shouting at this small boy, and what happens? This boy probably he had a lot of inspiration, but because she's shouting at him or speaking some bad words, what happens? He is very demotivated. Words can gain friends, they can turn them into enemies. So, with words, we can make friends, but at the same time, if we use bad and negative words, what can happen? The friends can turn into enemies. And these also are some words which we see from the Atharva Veda. Words can elevate or lower the individual. One must learn the habit of making one's words sweet, soft, and pleasant. So, as we know, words can really encourage us, they can inspire us to do even better in our life. But at the same time, when different words are used which are not very good, then it can also lower the individual's energies. It can also lower the individual's state of mind. And so we must learn the habit of making our words sweet, soft, and pleasant. This is highly important if we want to have a positive impact on our lives. So, do you know the Atharva Veda is one of the four Vedas which are the Hindu scriptures? The four Vedas are the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, and the Atharva Veda. So, those lines which we read previously were from Atharva Veda, and it is one of the four Vedas. The Hindus believe that the origin of all knowledge and wisdom lies in the Vedas. Let's move on. So, after reading this poem, these are the objectives of the poem. After completing this lesson, you will be able to 1. Enjoy reading the poem, explain the central idea of the poem, state the effect of harsh and impolite words on our mind and heart, justify the need for effective communication, for problem solving, and positive relationships. Identify the comparisons used to relate certain ideas in the poem. Explain the literary devices used in the poem to create an impact on the reader. Explain the importance or significance of the title of the poem. And analyze your own behavior in reaction to a particular situation. So, what we come to know a little more about analyzing your own behavior in reaction to a particular situation. So, let's move on and let's see what the next slide is saying. Have you ever been hurt by what someone said to you? Did the pain last for a long time? Did you think at that time that the other person could have said the same thing in a less hurtful manner? So these are questions for you to think over. Have you ever been hurt when somebody told you, maybe it's your friends or your parents or your brothers, maybe they told you something which really hurt you very badly. So what happened? So naturally your heart would have pained a little bit, right? So did that pain last you for a long time? And at that time, did you think that your friends or your parents could have told the same thing, but they could have told it in a less harsh manner, and it would have been a little more easier for you? So, over here, what we need to do, students, is we are actually saying the other person's viewpoint, but we must also say that we must not be hurting somebody else and we must not be giving them so much pain. Also, we can also speak softly and sweetly and in a polite manner. So, this is up to us. And now we will come on to the poem, The Truth. Let me read the poem first. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can also hurt me. Stones and sticks break only skin, while words are ghosts that haunt me. Slant and curved, the word swords fall, to pierce and stick inside me. Bats and bricks may ache through bones, but words can mortify me. Pain from words has left its scar on mind and heart that's tender. Cuts and bruises now have healed. It's words that I remember. So, this poem has been written by the poet Bari Wade, and it contains a lot of reality which we experience in our day to day life. Now, we will move forward and we'll be discussing stanza by stanza. So, stanza 1, I'll read it again and then we'll discuss what it means. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can also hurt me. Stones and sticks break only skin, while words are ghosts that haunt me. As you know, when we are physically hurt, people see our wounds and express sympathy for us. But can people see our suffering when we go through emotional or mental pain? No, they cannot. So we suffer alone. So what happens? When we are physically hurt, the people can see how we are hurt. So they will come and sympathize with us. They'll ask, okay, how are you? Is it still paining? And all that. But when the same hurt is mental and emotional, can the people look at it? No, they don't know that we are hurt, right? So that time what happens? We have to suffer it all alone. In this stanza, the poet speaks about the pain caused by weapons and the hurt caused by unkind language. Sticks and stones hurt us physically. It's true. Sticks and stones can hurt us only physically. Emotionally and mentally, the time we are not hurt. But we get hurt emotionally by rude and harsh language. Here we see that this man is probably speaking some bad words to this little boy, and this little boy is hurt. He's not hurt physically, but he's definitely hurt mentally and emotionally because of this rude language. We feel mentally upset and disturbed. The wounds caused to our body heal up fast, but the insult caused by words disturbs our mind for a long period of time. So, what the poet is trying to tell us is when it is a physical wound or a physical injury, what happens? It can heal after some time, right? It doesn't hurt us mentally or emotionally. Our mental state is okay that time. But suppose the same way in the same manner, if somebody is going to tell us some bad words or bitter words, what happens? Our mental and emotional state of balance is disturbed. That time we feel more depressed, and also it disturbs our mind for a longer period of time, right? It takes longer time to get over those harsh and bitter words. Now we'll move on to stanza 2. Slant and curved, the word swords fall to pierce and stick inside me. Bats and bricks may ache through bones, but words can mortify me. Mortify is nothing but it will be terrorizing you, it will be on your mind all the time. It creates a negative impression, something like that. You have been treated unfairly by someone. How do you feel? Do you think being intolerant and aggressive is always an effective way of dealing with people? Let us read what Gandhiji has to say about this. So, when we are treated not too well by somebody, how do you feel? You feel, okay, I must also do the same thing. I must also take revenge. But is that the real way to go about it? No, it's not. That's what Gandhiji is trying to tell us by his great message, which is as follows: keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. So, what Gandhiji is trying to tell us is we must keep our thoughts positive. When we keep our thoughts positive and pure, naturally our words will also be positive. They will also spread good vibrations. And when our words are positive and pure, what happens? Our behavior naturally it will become positive, and we tend to spread a lot of positive and good vibrations around us, good energy. So, definitely, I think you all will agree that we must keep our thoughts positive because it leads to positive words and positive behavior. And this is the great message of our dear Gandhiji, and definitely we should follow it. In this stanza, the poet describes the intense pain caused by bitter words. The poet says that objects like swords injure our bodies deeply. But don't you think that angry and harsh words can also hurt equally? Don't you think that such words can humiliate us and make our life miserable? You must have experienced this in your day to day life. So, what he's trying to tell us here is, see, when the sword, it's an object, right? Sword, like sword, it is injuring our bodies deeply. It is only a physical wound, it's only a physical injury. It's not going to affect us mentally, definitely not. So, when angry and harsh words are used, it can hurt equally, but it can hurt definitely more because it's not a physical hurt. It will be on the mind as well as on the heart when it is angry and harsh words. So, what happens when such words are used? They can humiliate us. Humiliate us meaning embarrass us. They can embarrass us and make our life miserable, right? Why is our life going to be miserable? Because our mind and heart is affected. They are disturbed. So, naturally, our life will be a little miserable. You must have experienced this in your day to day life. When you think about it, when you think about your own life, what happened in your life, I'm sure we all have some experience or the other where anger and also harsh words have been spoken. Pain from words has left its scar on mind and heart that's tender. Cuts and bruises now have healed. It's words that I remember. Think of a physical injury you have suffered in the past. Think of some unkind words someone said to you which hurt you badly. Which experience did you forget earlier? So, physical injury meaning maybe you had an accident, maybe there was a cut from a knife, that could be some physical injury you went through in the past. And also at the same time, think of somebody who spoke to you some bitter and harsh words, right? That bitter and harsh words must have hurt you badly. So, when you compare the two, which experience did you forget earlier? Was it your physical injury or was it the harsh words? You must decide. In this stanza, the poet explains that the damage caused by harsh language is more than the damage caused by physical injury. Definitely true. See, when you have a cut from the knife, it's not going to really harm you mentally, right? It will only hurt you physically. But when bitter language is spoken or somebody has spoken to you something, some bad things, then the damage caused is much more. So, both leave scars, one on the body and the other on the mind and heart. But the scars on the mind and heart do not let us forget the experience. So, there are two of scars. Scars is nothing but a mark which is left behind by an injury. So, He says one is on the body, the other is on the mind and heart. Of course, one is on the body. So, what can it be? Can it be bitter and harsh words on the body? Definitely not. It will be what? Some physical injury that is leaving a scar on the body. But on the other hand, what are the scars on the mind and the heart? The scars will be some impolite language. Somebody has used some bad words against you, or somebody has spoken some harsh and bitter words. That will definitely leave a mark on your mind and heart, and you're mentally and emotionally disturbed that time. So, but the scars on the mind and the heart do not let us forget the experience. So, so very quickly we can't come out of that experience because of bitter words being spoken to you. So, what have we learned from this poem? Truth is a highly valued virtue. Being truthful is very important, and the truth is generally bitter. This is so true. Of course, truth is a very, very highly, it's a very good quality, and also it's a very highly valued quality, truth. And being truthful is very important, as we all know. Truth is usually bitter, that we need to accept. So, therefore, if one has to speak the bitter truth, it should not be spoken in harsh and rude words, for harsh and bitter words can deeply hurt the listener. They leave a long lasting impact. The pain caused by unpleasant words is much more unbearable and lasting than a physical injury. And the poet recommends that the truth be spoken with kindness and politeness rather than harshness. So, the main message of the poem is that whatever truth we are speaking, it might be bitter, but we must speak it with kindness, politeness. We should use sweet, soft, and polite language. And if we have to speak the bitter truth, that's what. It should not be spoken in harsh and rude words, because when it's spoken in such harsh and bitter words, then what can happen? It can deeply hurt the listener, and it also leaves a very long lasting impact. So, sometimes it's in your memory and keeps coming back, that experience of harsh and bitter words, the hurt which you experienced at that time. So, the pain caused by these bitter words is much more unbearable, and it takes very, very long to heal. Sometimes maybe it might not heal also. So we need to keep in mind that we should speak the truth, whether bitter or sweet truth, whatever it is. We must always use sweet, soft, and polite language. That is the great message of this beautiful poem, The Truth. So dear students, the truth should always be spoken in sweet, soft, and polite language, no matter what. So that's all for now. Hope you enjoy the poem. Keep smiling, keep improving. Thank you.